Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today I put together another compilation video and I am sharing all the ideas for make ahead holiday brunch or Christmas morning. Hope you enjoy it. So for this first recipe I am making a croissant chocolate chip bake, chocolate croissant breakfast bake. And you will need something to grease your pan with. So I am just using coconut oil. You can also use pan or just any other oil. Then you need 10 to 13 of these mini croissants, 2 cups of milk, 4 eggs, 2 packages of cream cheese, 2 cups of chocolate chips, as well as 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I will have the recipe link down below so that way you can see it, what you need. So the first thing that you do is you will grease up your, get your pan ready, grease it up, oil it, spray it. Whenever I use sweet stuff, whenever I do sweet stuff, I like to do coconut oil instead of olive oil or any other type of oil. So now, or butter. Now this is ready and I'm going to take my croissants and break them up. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, like I mentioned, my name is Sonia and this is my cooking channel. I also have 2 other channels, a home decor channel as well as a DIY channel. So if any of those type of things interest you, make sure you head on over and check those out. They will be linked in the description box.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new.
So this is ready. I'm going to be setting it aside and getting the rest of the stuff ready. So this dish needs to go in the refrigerator for 20 minutes or overnight before you cook it.
Everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la 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 la, oh, oh, la 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 la, oh, oh, la 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 la. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up.
Mix it up. Going to pour it over. So now I'm going to cover it with some aluminum foil and it's going to go in the fridge for about 20 minutes or overnight. I'm placing this into the oven for about 40 minutes at 350. For my next dish, you will need half a cup of milk, 1 onion, a package of sausage or bacon. I am using bacon. A package of hash browns, so about 20 ounces. About 3/4 of this cheese block, so you will need about 250 grams of this. And then 7 eggs and some salt and pepper. The first step is to get your bacon and onion prepared, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to slice up my bacon and fry it up, and then I'm gonna fry up the onion in the bacon grease.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yes,
I'm using my cast iron pan, and it's well seasoned, so it doesn't need too much oil. So the bacon is done. I am going to take it out and set it aside.
Of everything but you. These are the good times with you, baby.
I'm going to add my onion into the grease.
And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love.
So the onion is done.
These are the good times with you, baby. This year it's just gonna be you and me, hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close.
So I already broke my eggs into my bowl. I'm just going to whisk them.
Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, 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 oh, oh.
Now I'm going to add my onion and bacon. Full bag of hash browns. Some salt and pepper, and once again I will have the recipe linked down below. Gonna add my milk, and you want to leave about 1/2 cup of cheese for finishing, but the rest goes in. Mix it up, and I already grease up my stone. I use olive oil for that. You can use any oil, pan, whatever you wish.
Making our Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you.
And you want to preheat this oven for 350, and that's the same goes for the other dish, so that way you can cook them both at the same time. Put this into the oven and cook it for 35 minutes, and then I'm gonna remove it and I'm gonna top it with cheese and cook it for 8 more. So I'm going to add my cheese now and cook it for another 10 minutes or so. So here is the hash brown casserole, bacon hash brown casserole. So I'm going to prepare the cinnamon rolls, and for that you will need 1 cup of lukewarm milk, 3 tablespoons of water, again room temperature, maybe a little bit warmer, 1 egg beaten, 1/4 cup of butter, and then 3 1/4 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then 2 teaspoons of yeast. And now I'm going to add it to the bread maker to make the dough. So I'm adding the yeast first, and then I'm going to add my flour and sugar, and then salt. I am going to add my melted butter in with the egg and water. And I'm going to add this mixture into the milk. And I'm going to start the dough cycle. For the dough cycle on mine, it is number 8, and I have the Black & Decker all-in-one. So I set it at 8, and it's gonna take 1 hour and 50 minutes. The dough is almost done, and now I'm going to prepare my filling. I have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm going to add my butter to it, and then which is about 2 tablespoons of butter there, and then I'm going to add 3 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. So that would be 1 tablespoon and 3/4 of a teaspoon. I think that's pretty much what it comes up to. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to roll out my dough. Baking stone, I'm going to wrap them with cellophane wrap and let them rest for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to bake them at a preheated oven at 350 for about, it says 25 minutes, but being that I'm using a stone, I'll probably do it for about 35, but start checking it at 25 minutes. For my next dish, I'm going to be making a bacon, egg, and potato casserole. And for this, you need a pound of bacon, 1 yellow and 1 red pepper. I have very small red peppers, so I am using 2, 3 cloves of garlic, 12 large eggs, 1 cup of milk. Then it's asking for 3 cups of diced frozen potatoes. I don't have any of that, so I'm just going to dice up 3 potatoes and cook them a little bit beforehand, just so they're fully cooked in the oven after. And then 2 cups of shredded cheese. I'm using medium cheddar. And then 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And then you will also need 2 green onions. So I'm going to get my bacon cut up and started on cooking, and then I'm going to cut up the rest of my veggies. Once all my veggies were chopped up, I just cracked open all of my eggs so they're ready to go when I'm ready to go. Once the bacon was cooked, I just removed it and added it to a paper plate that was on a paper towel that was on a plate, and then using that same oil I took those chopped up potatoes and I just sauteed them for a little bit just so they soften up. This will also speed up the baking process. You obviously don't need to do this step if you are using frozen potatoes, because most likely they were parboiled or something has been done to them and they will cook a lot faster than a fresh potato. You will also need to add 1 whole yellow onion, which I did not include in my ingredients list, and then when I was assembling I thought it was a little bit weird that it didn't call for an onion, so good thing I double checked the recipe and double checked that shortly after I added all my veggies in, so not too far into cooking, so I was able to add it. So I'm going to cook this until the onion and the peppers are fully cooked. To get the egg mixture ready, I'm just going to beat all the eggs, get them all nicely scrambled, and then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients, which were salt, pepper, the milk, as well as the cheese. I did realize that my bowl just quite wasn't big enough for this, so I did have to switch it to a larger bowl. Once all my veggies were cooked, I am adding the egg mixture in, and then at this time I will be adding half the bacon all of my green onions and half the cheese to it. And then partway through cooking, I am going to add the rest of the cheese as well as the bacon. You pretty much just put it back in the oven for cheese to melt. Now for the frosting, you will need 2 cups of icing sugar, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1/4 cup of, about I think 6 tablespoons of butter, and 1/4 cup of heavy cream. So I'm going to add all this together, and I'm going to blend it with the hand, mix it with the hand mixer. And you want your butter and your cheese to be melted or at room temperature. So it's all done and ready to be enjoyed. I took out the cinnamon rolls. They look absolutely beautiful in my opinion. Here is the frosting. So when anybody as they take it out, they'll just add the amount of frosting that they want. I could frost them now as well, all of them, but some of my family members want less, some want more, so they can just add it themselves. I think the little bake looks absolutely delicious, and I can't wait to dig into it. And then I also made a little fruit charcuterie type of thing, and I just added a whole bunch of different fruit here to enjoy with the meal. So the first thing, I'm starting off with some Nutella stuffed French toast, and you will need some toast bread, Nutella, 4 eggs, some butter, and some milk. I will also have the recipe linked in the description box, so that way you can get the exact measurements. So the first thing that I do is I just butter my I think it is a 4x4 pan. I am just making, I think it worked out to about 8 or 9 of these stuffed toasts, so keep that in mind. And then I mix up my milk and my eggs together, as well as a tablespoon or so or teaspoon or so of vanilla. Once my egg mixture is ready, I take a piece of toast and put about a tablespoon of Nutella on it, spread it out, roll it, and dip it into the milk and egg mixture and place it into the baking dish. And I repeat this until my baking dish is completely full. Now that it's done, I take the egg and milk mixture and pour it over, and then I take my cling wrap or my saran wrap and cover it up and put it in a fridge. I put mine in for overnight, but you can do for about 2 hours before you bake. So you want to preheat your oven to 375, and it goes for about 30 to 35 minutes. Just before it's done, I take about a tablespoon of Nutella and just melt it in a microwave for about 20 seconds to 30 seconds, depending on your microwave, just so it softens up so you can drizzle over top of it. So here it is out of the oven, and now I'm gonna take my Nutella, drizzle over it, as well as sprinkle it with some icing sugar. This tasted exactly what it was, like a French Nutella stuffed French toast. And you want to drizzle a little bit of maple syrup over top of it before eating. For my next dish, I am making a crustless quiche, and I think this is a great option if you have a couple of those people that maybe aren't eating any carbs or are doing a keto diet. This would be a great option for them. So for this, you will need around 2/3 of a cup of ham. I have about a cup. I have had some of this ham left over in a freezer from when we made the whole ham, so that's another great way to reuse to use up some of that stuff from the freezer. So ham. And then I have 3 cups of cheddar cheese. You can do Monterey Jack, you can do whatever cheese you have. I have had cheddar on hand, so that's what I'm using. Some frozen or fresh spinach, onion, about a cup of mushrooms, and then 5 eggs. And you will also need some salt and pepper or any other seasoning that you like to add to your eggs. I might add a couple, just like a pinch of red chili flakes. So the first thing that I'm doing is I am heating up my cast iron skillet, and I'm melting some butter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use this skillet for the quiche as well, so that way I don't have to dirty up another dish, and this can go easily into the oven. So once I have sauteed my vegetables, I will be adding the rest of the stuff to it instead of adding the vegetables to the rest of the stuff and then putting it in a separate oven-friendly dish. So my butter is melted and I'm adding my onions. I'm going to saute them just for a minute just to soften up before I add my spinach and my mushrooms. So my onion's about ready, and I'm going to add my mushrooms and my spinach. So I had whisked my eggs, and now I'm going to add the rest of my cheese. I mean, just the cheese, not the rest of it. I haven't added cheese to anything yet. And I'm going to just give it a little stir. And I'm going to add a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and a little bit of the flakes, the red pepper flakes. We don't mind spicy food, so even if I put a little bit more, it's okay. And I'm going to add my ham. Mix it up, stir it up, and I'm going to add it to my vegetables. And now it goes into the preheated oven at 350 for about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. Once you insert a butter knife in and it comes out clean, it means it's done. So it's done. It took a lot less time because I think the cast iron was already preheated. So it took about 20 minutes instead. This tasted amazing. I hope you have enjoyed all of these recipes, and like I said at the beginning of the video, all of these can be made ahead of time and just baked the morning of, so that way you can enjoy your time with the family, opening presents, or whatever it is that you do on Christmas morning or whenever you're making these recipes. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.